Chet, just what was it like for you seeing the way that you guys were able to turn defense to offense in overtime, and particularly Shai kind of leading that charge?
Man, it's huge. When one of your best offensive players is one of your best defensive players, it's huge. He really ignites us on both ends with his energy, and especially in that overtime period. He had a huge stop that ended up leading to 2 points and really breaking the game out. So, it's huge having Shai out there doing what he's doing, and we really feed off that.
Chet, first of all, just could you walk us through the last shot in regulation, what the play was, what you saw, and how you got it off?
It started long before then. I give up the corner three after the late switch to Steph, and then I had a turnover on a rifle keep, and then I smoked a lefty lay after ATO, and then credit to coach for still having the confidence in me to go out there and execute. There were a few different options on the play depending on what ended up being open, and I was kind of the end of it, and at that point it's just go make a play. So credit to Josh for finding me there, and then from there it was a good shot. It felt good coming out of my hands, and it went in. So.
And then specifically with Shai, Mark was just talking about how you guys are better in the two-man game now than you were at the start of the season. He hopes you'll be better in a couple of weeks. But have you seen some chemistry there, and did you see some results of that tonight? It seemed like a lot of times when he was drawing attention, you were the beneficiary, and a couple times vice versa.
Yeah, 100%. It just comes down to playing off of each other and reading what the other team's trying to do and trying to take advantage of that. Obviously Shai gets so much credit for his scoring ability, which was on display tonight with 40 points, but he's really good at helping to make things easier for his teammates as well, which is huge for us because of the gravity that he has. Kind of makes it even easier when he gets off the ball. At the times that he does, he's really timely with it, and he's doing a great job of it.
You got more touches in the paint today. Was that by design? Did you feel like going into this game? Do you feel like you had to get in the paint a little bit more?
Yeah, 100%. With how the Warriors play, they're playing small, they're switching a lot. It's not going to play. The advantage isn't going to be in my hands if I'm trying to, be all pretty on the perimeter all game long. So, I can't have too much pride, I guess, to get in there and get dirty, whether it's, getting touches in the paint or even, fighting on the glass. Especially in that second half, I had a couple offensive rebounds and a couple plays that, added possessions for us, whether it was tip outs or getting fouled on the glass. Just getting in there and, making the winning play. It's not always going to be, come down, dribble 5 times and pull up. So sometimes it's, rolling hard, sealing, fighting on the glass, whatever it might be.
Then Mark talked about giving you guys the freedom to play your guys' game, and because you guys make it easy and doing it within the team. How key is that for you to have a coach that lets you rock the way you want to rock?
It's great. It accelerates the learning process because he allows you to play through some mistakes as long as the mistakes that happen, are in the right frame of mind, I guess. As long as we're playing for each other and, trying to make the right play. He understands that as a young team, we're going to make mistakes, and, to help us keep our confidence, he's making sure that that's understood. But at the end of the day, we have to be trying to make the right play. And he's good at reading that. And, I feel like as a team, we're doing a good job of that as well, really playing for each other.
Chet, Mark has talked about, right here, Chet. Mark has talked about, he's still learning you, your teammates are still learning you, and I know every game is situational, but, the combination tonight of efficiency, activity, the spots you're getting to, does it feel like there's a way to bottle that up moving forward?
What do you mean by bottle that up?
Like be able to consistently, maybe not do it at the frequency you did it tonight, obviously 30-something points, but, be able to get to those same spots every night at a similar frequency.
I mean, it's going to change game to game. This game was different than the last game, and the game before that was different than these two. Teams have different personnel, different schemes, and when they see something working, they're not just going to let you walk in, especially on the road and do whatever you've been doing that's been working. They're going to scheme and try to figure it out and try to keep you from doing that. So it's just, understanding what we can do as a team that, where we can find our identity and be able to do that every single night. And, within that, there's going to be, small changes. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try to play my game and, try to play Thunder basketball. So.
Hey, Chet. You've obviously had some pretty good success to start your career, but what areas do you think that you've improved in most since your first game until now?
That's a good one. I'd say just my execution. Early on, it was a lot of processing and taking things in, and sometimes I'd make a silly mistake here or there. Just trying to think too much in terms of some ATO stuff and game plan stuff, but I feel like I'm finding my groove and really getting my understanding of things, and the thinking is kind of just happening on the fly, and I'm not reactive, if that makes sense. So I'd say, yeah, my execution overall.
You guys threw so many different perimeter defenders on Steph and Clay tonight. You included. You had a huge block late. What was the value maybe that you guys felt in terms of the fresh legs that you were able to put on those guys throughout the game?
Yeah, defensively, we have a lot of guys that take pride on that end of the floor. And we know, to win games on the road especially, it takes defense and it takes stops and game-winning plays on the defensive end, whether it be boxing out, whether it be blocking a shot, whether it be helping a teammate defensively. We know it's going to take multiple efforts and a lot of energy. And as a unit, we try to do that every possession, and we did it enough tonight to get a W on the road against a good team.
And then, the loud thing in overtime were the fact that you were able to get to your spots at the elbows and hit those shots. What were some of the things that happened leading up to that on those possessions that helped you get to those places on the floor?
I think so. For the game, it wasn't going my way the whole game. My teammates were really good and really aggressive early, and they had to be guarded and drew attention from the other team. And then late, I was able to play in space. So credit to those guys for being aggressive, making plays, and trusting their work and trusting their confidence.
Very awesome about sports. Shane, you guys battle back from down deficits. We've seen that a lot from you guys, but down 18 in this environment, just what's going through this team's mind collectively in those sort of situations when you're battling back together?
Yeah, just take it one play at a time. Like you said, we've done it multiple times, and we know what it takes. We know how to get it done. We just try to take it one play at a time, one stop at a time. We try to focus on the defensive end because there's no way you're coming back if you don't get stops. You can score as much as you want. But we try to focus in defensively and try to rebound and play to our identity.
And then we saw you score at all three levels tonight, and Mark really credits to you for your balance offensively. When you look at your shot chart, or when you're going back and you're looking how you got your scores tonight, just how important is that balance to you personally?
It's the most important thing. Trying to distribute, trying to make the right play, make the right read, manipulate the game, and as well play my game at the same time. Is the most important thing, and it will allow me to be the player that I want to be ultimately. It's a work in progress, something I work on, and I watch film, and I talk to my coaches and my trainers about it. It's something that I work on daily, and I try to achieve and accomplish, and hopefully I master one day.
Shay, I don't know if you've seen the video of your reaction to Chet's shot, but it's out there. What was going through your mind when he made the shot to tie the game?
Disbelief. It just seemed crazy. It looked like it felt like a movie in the moment. Hats off to Chet. Hell of a shot.
And then Mark was talking about how the two of you, you and Chet, your two-man game is better than it was at the beginning of the year. He hopes it's better in a couple of weeks. What's the process been for you guys learning to play off of one another?
It's been really easy, just because he's so versatile. Like, he can roll, he's a lob threat, he can shoot a floater, he can shoot a three, he can put it on the floor from the three. Like, he can do so many things offensively, and it makes it very easy. I think it's just about, really just about like me when I draw a crowd and draw attention, finding him when he's open.
Mark talked about giving you guys the freedom on both ends of the floor and said it's easy because you guys play within the team and don't try to be too selfish. How key has that been for you in your development?
Yeah, it's how you become a winning basketball team. I know that. All the guys on the team know that. It's something that we focus on every day. Every day we come into film, and that's one of the boxes we try to check. Do we play to our identity and within the team offensively and defensively? And the days that we do so are a plus for us. The days that we don't, we learn from them and we try to get better for the next game. But that's something that we focus on for sure.
Then you're taking almost double the amount of mid-range shots per game than you were last year, and you're more efficient. Is that you trying to get in that area more, or is that just taking what the defense gives you?
Yeah, taking what they give me, but also trusting my work.
Anybody else? Thank you, Shaq.
All right, thanks. Nick Gallo, OKC Thunder. J-Dub seemed kind of like a marathon of a game, a lot of different games in one. How do you feel like you, as a group, handled this situation, especially in this mini-series environment, which is still kind of new?
I think we've been in a lot of situations like this early on. We kept our poise. We kind of doubled down on defense and ultimately got the win. You know, obviously big plays were made, but just kind of buckled down defensively and did a good job kind of just sticking through the game.
Dub, obviously you had a big start to that fourth quarter. The way things unfolded, the way it went back and forth, just the moments leading up to Chet's final three in regulation, just what was going through your head?
Well, to answer your first question, like just the beginning of the fourth, just be aggressive, look for myself, kind of get to a point where I can spray the ball out or score. So stuff kind of opened up there. So I think a lot of that's just being patient. And then, I mean, it was so much going on. But I think just defensively, I thought we did a really good job. Limiting them one shot. You know, obviously they got some offensive rebounds, but I think we did a good job, especially towards the end, just one shot, one rebound, and then coming down and executing stuff that we've been working on at practice late game. So
yeah, and a lot of the times it feels like in those non-shade minutes to start the fourth, you're probably the primary creator in those lineups. Just in those moments, are you taking the time to make those strides as an on-ball guy, or what's going through your head in those moments, and how are you getting to your spots?
I don't think anything really changes. I think just the amount of times that I'm able to have the opportunity to get to my spot. So just being more aware of that. But at the same time, the group I'm out there with, like everybody can score. So I'm also looking for them. And I think that makes it easy for me to pick my spots when you have guys like Isaiah and Josh will be out there with me. And I'm usually out there with Chet. So there's other guys on the floor that create space. So it makes it easier for me to kind of get those reps and kind of do a lot of different stuff.
You said your team has some experience in these situations, but still, it's not often you're going to win back-to-back games in the same venue. So what does that do for your guys' confidence and development as a team?
It's a big confidence boost, especially, the Warriors are a really good team. Obviously, they have championship experience and players that are hungry. I think, it's a big confidence boost. Obviously, we have another game tomorrow, so kind of a quick turnaround, but just going into a lot of these games with a lot of confidence, and we've had a lot of games where, it comes down to the final possession, so, we're kind of getting a little more trained in that way.
Jalen, Chet was in here crediting Mark for letting him get the shot after he, as he put it, smoked the layup on that assist that you should have given him. What was your reaction just as the shot happened, and also to that idea of giving the ball to the rookie in that situation?
We've worked on that play. That wasn't really like a new play for us. Something that we drew up in practice, and we always kind of do, ATOs, late game stuff at the end of practices. So it was actually really cool to, for him to get that shot and something that we all trust him to shoot. And it was really cool to kind of see that come full circle because we've worked on it and done that. So, big-time players make big-time shots, and he did that. So.
things changed for you guys in the third quarter. What was the key for you guys to kind of turn things around?
Defense for sure. I started picking Curry up a little higher up and just trying to make it difficult. I think having K. Rich back has been really big for us too. Amen. Having K. Rich back with us, I think, is good. It gives us a lot more switchability. And just rebounds. I think that's kind of been our Achilles heel for a lot of the season. So when we're able to kind of limit one shot, we're a much better defensive team, and I thought we were able to do that. We just kind of turned that up and stuck to our offense. It wasn't a lot of hero ball. Like, we were playing the right way and made big shots.
And your handle has gotten noticeably better this year. A couple plays where you had the ball on the string, keeping your dribble alive. How much work did you put in this summer?
A lot. I just worked on a lot of my game. I think that just comes from understanding my spots and knowing what I like to do in certain situations. And coach is just constantly putting me in positions to where I can constantly work on it and feel free to mess up and learn from it. So I think when you have that mixture of working out and being able to actually get live reps, it's really helped out.
Dub, the way the fourth quarter unfolded, the way overtime unfolded, Chet's performance, Shay's performance, your performance, just the nature of the win. I know we're always going to reference, however many games are left, it's a long season, but through this 13-game start, would you venture to say that this is maybe this team's signature win already?
I don't know. It's definitely a big win. I think if you just go back and look from last year's perspective, there are some games that we kind of wish we had back. So I think this is a big step in the right direction as far as coming on the road, being battle tested, and it's really difficult to come to the same building within a 4-day span and play them twice and win. So I think it's definitely a big momentum push just this early on in the season.
Thanks, Joe.
Cool.
Just talking to your guys yesterday, they knew that this game was not going to follow the same script as a couple nights ago. What did you see from them just in terms of the mental approach and the ability to understand the length of the game tonight and come away victorious?
Yeah, every game's different. We knew Golden State was going to play with a lot of spirit and desperation, and they did, and punched us pretty good. We had a hard time, getting any sort of grip on that game, and then almost let it get away from us a couple times in the third quarter. And I thought our resilience in the third to fight back into it was great, and obviously got a great win out of it.
Down the stretch, fourth quarter, overtime, you guys were able to throw a lot of different defenders at Steph and Clay. How did it feel to you as a coach to be able to go to Isaiah sometimes, go to Kaysen sometimes in those matchups?
Yeah, I mean, it's a luxury to have guys that compete as hard as our guys compete, because it makes everybody live and gives us a lot of options. It's really a testament to Curry and Thompson and the endurance of those players. I mean, they just move with such thrust that they wear you down, and so we wanted to throw a lot of bodies at them, and down the stretch, that's what we did. We tried to keep kind of fresh legs on them because of how potent they are.
Things kind of changed for you guys in the third quarter on both ends of the floor. What was the key to turning things around?
I mean, I really appreciate the mental resilience to just kind of hang in the game. It felt like a game that we weren't going to win, but there's always time on the clock until there's not, obviously. But when there's time on the clock, if you stack some possessions, games are long, and I thought our guys had great maturity and toughness to do that tonight in, like I said, a game that just didn't feel like it was going our way for a lot of it, end of the second quarter into the third.
And Chet seemed like he got a lot more paint touches today. Was that by design, or was that just taking what the Warriors were giving you guys?
Well, I think, Chet's early in his career, and he's got a long way to go as a player. We also have a long way to go in learning him. I have a long way to go in learning him as a coach, and his teammates have a long way to go in learning him as a teammate. And one of the things that I thought we did a great job of tonight, that we talked about in practice yesterday and that we talked about in film this morning, is when he gets switched, kind of seeing him in those situations, even if he's covered by a smaller guy, like throwing the ball up to him and letting him go get it, and either let him play one-on-one from there or activate the help and be able to move it out of that. And I thought our carryover of that, it's a little thing, but as great as the win was, the skill that we really need to have is we need to be a team that improves through the season. And I thought that little detail tonight was an example of how we improved from last game.
Hi, Mark. Kendra Andrews, ESPN. With that last play, Chet's last shot in regulation, is that what you guys wanted that shot to look like, that play to look like?
Yeah, especially the part of the ball going in.
Right, of course.
But, a couple things I just want to point out on that is Giddy, didn't play down the stretch, sub him for the inbound, and it's like he's in the moment of it, and that's impressive maturity for him to go in there and deliver that the way he did. And then Shea's the screener on that play. And, Shea's first-team All-NBA last year. He's an all-star. But he's got the humility and the perspective, to go in there and execute the play and try to get his teammate a shot, and he did. And that's just, I can't overstate how much of a luxury that is, to have a guy that's got the, like I said, humility and perspective that you can draw a play for a rookie in that situation, and he just goes out there and executes it. The inbounder just goes out there and executes it.
And what did you think of Shea, especially in overtime?
I mean, he was a two-end player tonight. I think that's one thing. His offensive prowess, speaks for itself. But I think it can sometimes, distract from how good of a defensive player he is. And I thought he got that into the game. That whole overtime group, we held him to 6 points in overtime. We made him earn everything. Some of it was off of just rebounding. It's just really, really tight. That group, I give Lou a lot of credit. He sat for a long time. We sub him back in overtime. He goes in there, gives us a lot of juice on Curry. But I thought Shea was, he was a two-end player tonight.
Coach, this is your first overtime experience this year, and not only that, but it's on the road in this environment particularly. Just what did you think of the value of this experience for these guys going forward?
Well, I think because we just played them the other night and beat them, and they've lost a couple in a row, and they've got Curry coming back. It was just it had a heightened feel to it because of all the context. And I knew tonight we would learn something, one way or the other. Either, if they punched us, we would have been humbled by that and looked in the mirror. And this was a game we knew we had to earn, and that was what was cool about it is just the experience of having to earn it. Whether you come out on top or you fall short, that's a good experience for a team that's as early in the season as we are.
And then J-Dub really hit the gas at the start of that fourth quarter, and he seems to just pick and choose kind of when he accelerates and when he goes for it. Just what do you think of his decision-making in those sort of moments to kind of get after it and hit the gas like that?
Yeah, he got it going there. And I thought, he just plays, all the way throughout. Even the play before Chet's shot that he made, he made a hell of a play to Chet there that we didn't finish, but he lets the game tell him what to do. But he's really improved his assertiveness, he's improved his body, he's really confident, and yet he still makes the right plays. So obviously, really good player.
Mark, you guys had a lot of guys play great, but specifically with Chet and Shea, and this may go back to that adjustment you're talking about, but this seemed like the best they sort of played off each other, some of the attention that Shea got. He was getting the ball to Chet, vice versa. Chet brings the ball down the court one time, draws some defense, gets it over to Shea. Did you see anything in particular between the two of them that was different?
No, I mean, that's been growing. With all this stuff, there's never like an epiphany game or an epiphany moment. It builds over time. And so their chemistry in the two-man game is better than it was at the beginning of the year, and hopefully it's better a week from now than it is today. I thought some of it was how they guarded us tonight, too. Like they were really, really tight in coverage on Shea tonight and forced him to get off it in a lot of plays, and Chet was available for him. Did a good job of mixing rolls and short rolls and pops, which is a growth point for Chet. But I just think it's a sign of improvement and progress more than anything.
And then with Shea, you've seen this so many times, but the shots in overtime, the block on Curry, does he amaze you at any point still?
Yeah, but what amazes me more, I just have such respect for the person. I know the work he puts in, the consistency of that work through all the ups and downs, and through the off season, and the vision he has for himself. Is unique. He's in the driver's seat of his career. I've said that before. And then with all that, he then plugs into the team, and those are the qualities about him that amaze me the most, because I get to see the behind the curtain on that. And then obviously he's a great player.
Mark, I think back to the overtime, some of those Shea buckets some of that second side stuff. Other stuff is just him coming down and just getting to his spots. And Dub at the start of the fourth, getting to his spots, showing off the touch. How much of that is a balance between, I want a good organized half-court set here and just, the other side of it being, hey, get to your spots, you do you.
We let them rock. We let our guys rock, but they have to rock inside the team, and we give them a good amount of freedom. And sometimes there's possession. I thought in the first half, for example, we could have done. I thought we dribbled way too much. We were patting the ball in the first half, and we didn't make the simple ones. So we have to learn. If we're going to give that level of freedom, our players need to learn from those experiences and grow from them. But we believe in our players, and we let them go.
Yeah, and it felt like obviously harder to run Clay off the line with Steph back and vice versa. The short roll was working well for them, so those guys are getting shots within the game and whatnot. I guess what changed in the second half in that regard?
Well, he still had a hard time with them in the second half. They're a handful, and one of the things I admire about their team is that the whole's better than the sum of the parts. So you add Curry back in, and all of a sudden, it ignites Thompson, and Thompson being out there ignites Curry, and they've been like that for years. They're the ultimate whole is better than the sum team, which makes them difficult to guard. And as a team that's building and growing, we want to be that type of team. We want to be a team where we're better because we're out there together. And I think we're on that track, but we also have a long way to go on it.
Following up on that, giving them freedom comment, you talked about how you give them freedom on the defensive end. Also, what all goes into being able to trust them enough to give them the leeway to play and them doing it within the team?
Yeah, their commitment, their capacity, their team orientation, like you said, and then understanding that it's a 82-game season and it's a multi-year team. We have a young team that'll grow over time, and we don't want to cap, the potential of our players by boxing them into what we want. It's a free-flowing game. It's hard to paint by numbers, and you need guys that can think on their toes, and we want to develop that to the best of our ability.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.